Okay, thank you very much. Welcome, everybody. It is Sunday, the 7th of December, and that just happens to be my birthday. It's my second 62nd birthday, which that amazes me. And I wasn't sure that I would do something this weekend. Often I take the day off on my birthday, but there's so much going on at the moment that it seemed silly to not take advantage of the energies and put ourselves in the way of those energies because this is what we came for. I didn't come to have easy birthdays. I came to do, I mean, been made very clear to me in the past week or so that I came here to do what I'm doing, to do energy work. And so not having a day off seemed like the best idea. Um, so I'm delighted to be here. And as I was walking the dog, taking the dog on a very wet, windy walk a few hours ago, something else crystallized that I've been living over the past couple of weeks. And you can probably hear that my throat is a bit raspy, and I've had what would pass as a cold, although every time I meditate, I'm told you don't have a cold, you're clearing. It's like, okay. It feels like a cold to me. But I get that I'm clearing because I can really feel the emptying out. And what I have experienced is this weird sort of sheath-like energy, much more strong than a veil. I've experienced lots and lots of veils lifting out of my field. This is a much stronger experience. And as I was walking this afternoon, it crystallized in the sense that we're literally shifting operating systems now. We are this time. Uh, our old operating systems are massively being dismantled, and these new grids that are rising from in the earth, they're matched by what is rising in us, our light body, if you like. Um, the solar influxes. I have a sense because every time I've been meditating that I've been feeling this, that it's almost as if we're lowering in a whole new set of grid work from the sun, from the cosmos. And it it lands in us, it lands for us, it lands for the planet, it lands through us. Um, and we are participating in its installation in a sense. We are active participants in the installation of this new grid work, new light body for us and the planet. And that from being something that was sort of in the back of my mind and it's sort of forefront because this is a really significant piece. And it's not happening immediately right now today. It's happening over the next couple of months, I think, but certainly the run up to the solstice, the next 2 weeks into the solstice, and then that time beyond through January and February until, but I never remember these now. Is it Imbolc in February, beginning of February? That's a real sort of settling in period of something quite new. And then I think things start to take off again. So, uh, so it's very intriguing and very exciting. And I haven't got a cold. I'm clearing something. So, uh, I think we should crack on, really. Let me just have a quick look to see. Um, Yes, certainly. Computer snafu and solar flares. Yes, certainly that. Um, and thank you, Marie and Jonathan. Thank you, everybody. And a lot of you have sent donations, and I deeply appreciate your donations. It makes doing this much easier. I've just had a big tax bill to pay, so it's like, oh, it really does make this all much easier. So I do appreciate that. But I did want to express my gratitude to you for being so much a part of my life, even though a lot of us have never ever met. I feel great connection with you, and great love and respect for all of you in whatever way you show up in my life. Sometimes that's just reading emails and coming along to these free events, and that's beautiful. And sometimes a lot of you show up to the to a lot of events and send a lot of emails, and there's a lot of contact, and it's all very, very much appreciated and very lovely. Of course, I see quite a few of you in one-to-one sessions as well, which is always a joy. So thank you so much. And I'm very happy on my birthday because this actually feels like our birthday. Because I think we are in a birth process. We are being born again in a very real sense. What we have been living, the old operating system, isn't an old operating system. It's something that we fashioned in order to get by, in order to survive um, the experience of density and separation. And now we are dismantling that and returning to something much more real, much more valid, uh, much more potent and deep. And so this, I don't quite know how we're going to fit these things together, but that will be sorted out as soon as we start to meditate. I'll have an understanding of that. And what I do know is that the opening of the heart and expanding the heart field out across the earth, connecting deeply into these newly arising grids is going to be uh, an experience that again deepens over the coming weeks. I think it'll be lovely to experience it today because I've been sort of experiencing it in bits and pieces, in waves over the past few weeks, but it's going to really roll out, and these newly surfacing grids. I don't know, newly surfacing, newly forming. I don't know that they are newly forming. I think again, I've always had this sense that the Earth dropped a lot of her energetic formatting, just pulled it back into herself, and we were left on the surface of the earth feeling bereft because we were used to having a much stronger, deeper connection to the intelligence of the earth, and a much stronger, sure-footed guidance from the earth. And if you can imagine how bereft that would have left us feeling as that withdrew, and it probably didn't withdraw overnight. It was probably an ongoing process over hundreds, maybe thousands of years. But now it's coming back very strongly, and the intelligence of the planet, the fact that we live in a completely interactive universe is going to be undeniable fairly soon. Within the next few years, I think it's going to be very obvious that we create our own reality, and that the earth, the sun, the planets, the trees, the animals, the plants are all deeply, deeply intelligent beings in ways that we don't, from the intellectual perspective, we don't fully understand. We're going to be mapping back into that. And that's in part what this is about today. It's helping to assist that mapping back into these collective fields of intelligence that we separated out from. So it does feel very, very lovely, very exciting, lovely. Uh, okay, marvelous. Rose. Um, she says, happy to see you so happy. A friend of mine just knocked on the door and delivered me a huge birthday cake. Cake always makes me happy, I must admit. But it's a very big birthday cake, so I will be sharing it out a lot. But who doesn't love a bit of cake? Huh? So, okay, let's dive on in. So, once again, it is really, really lovely being with you, and thank you. Thank you so much for being here. So, as always, let's begin just by closing the eyes and dropping inward, focusing on the breath. And Just allowing that breath to draw you deeper. Actually, there's something else going on immediately. Use the breath to just take you up to the top of the head, just underneath the crown, because there already there's starting to be a golden influx of light. And just breathe through the crown with your breath, with your awareness, and just open the crown. Just imagining, if it helps, that the bony plates of the skull are soft and flexible and just open like a flower, like a beautiful flower, to receive the radiance of the sun. And just draw in a golden line of light. And bring it into the center of the head, through the crown, into the center of the head. And just breathe with this golden line of light right there. This incoming energy is really ready to flow and move. Just welcome it in consciously and allow it to build there in the center of the head, helping to open, to cleanse, to clarify. But already it's working its way down into the throat. So bring it consciously down into the throat center. I'm going to ask it to really work on my vocal cords here because it's working behind the eyes, opening up pathways in the optic nerve. We are being made ready or brought into states of consciousness and frequency where we start to see a broader range of the electromagnetic spectrum. I think our current range is quite small, certainly compared to what is available. And obviously, animals see different ranges and so see different things. So just hold that idea that it is possible for our capacity to see, or what we are capable of seeing, the range of electromagnetic frequencies. Just hold that idea that that is in a phase of expansion. We are expanding what it is we are able to see, what it is we are able to comprehend. And as we bring this down into the throat, in exactly the same way, the throat, through its link to the ears, through the eustachian tube, sort of governs interdimensional communication. And our capacity to hear is expanding to bring this golden line of light down to the throat. Take a minute here with this energy. Let's let it circulate through the throat, inviting it to work deeply into whatever patterning you may still hold, whatever it needs to do to open your throat, to cleanse, to clarify, to clear any old history. this golden energy is wanting to open out like a pair of wings from the throat out over the collarbones. So just allow it to extend and expand itself out from that point. There's like that notch at the top, well, the bottom of the throat, uh, that notch in the upper part of the sternum. And from there, just allowing the expansion of this golden field of energy out through the throat, through the collarbones, out across the shoulders. Now that expansion releases a lot of tension. It's actually released a lot of tension in my vocal cords. You might already hear that. So just allow that expansion to continue to deepen through the musculature as it takes you down into the thymus gland and down towards the heart. No, I don't know about your heart. My heart is palpitating, is so just rest in the heart space and allow yourself there to receive this golden influx of light. And so it's starting to fill the heart space, but already expanding out through that and coming down right the way down into the diaphragm as well. My diaphragm is already trembling. So just bring it through or allow it through. It's working its way down right through us. But just give yourself permission to receive deeply, fully this influx of light, this gift. Feel the release intention through the heart field and the corresponding even deeper release actually through the solar plexus, perhaps where more of us hold a little more tension there through the solar plexus diaphragm region. Take a moment here for the energy to do what it needs to do to open you up, to stabilize you. And while we're waiting here, I'm just going to invite the whole team of guides that work with us in these gatherings. Please invite your higher self to be very present and checking in with the field that we co-created, but it feels very, very different. We have a whole different set of frequencies working with us here. Just allow, or actually, it's not that they're different, they're just much more direct. They've come in much more closely. Okay, so the energy is opening up more dimensions on the inside. So if you imagine this incoming line of light flowing through the central column, and picture that central column like a bundle of fiber optic cables. As this golden influx is traveling through some of those fiber optic cables, it's starting to expand out and switch on more and more of those. Dropping through the spine. Now we've had some major solar influxes, CMEs and solar flares in the past couple of weeks. So we really have been prepared quite extensively. allowing this golden energy to flow down through this central column, through the spinal axis, inviting it into the spinal cord and the whole of the nervous system. And it's still flowing down through the central column into the sacral chakra. So just locate yourself at the sacrum, the bone. Sacrum means sacred bone. So just land there at the base of the spine, back of the pelvis. And just allow this golden line of light, invite this golden line of light to flow right the way through. And come to rest in the pelvis. Now, what I'm experiencing here is a strong flushing, a warm flushing of energy right through the pelvic floor and the base. Ask yourself, what are you experiencing in this region? And bring your awareness right into the perineum. So that's that little bit of skin between the genitals and the anus. That's where the base center comes into the body, where it opens in, and our whole relationship with the earth is going to be changing quite dramatically. So more and more of this is going to be opening up and coming online. Bring this, and this is my overwhelming sense that that's what this golden influx of light is doing, is literally opening up and bringing more of us online, bringing it into the base center. And now there's a really lovely flush right the way through the pelvis. Whilst we're being permeated, take a moment to hold awareness of this as a gathering. 107 people is what the numbers tell me. There may well be more listening in, and there will be more listening to the recording. Begin to build a field of awareness of all of those that listen to this recording so that we are all held within the same field. And you might sense this golden influx of light is flowing down the legs now, giving your whole body permission to open and receive this. Obviously, we've ditched our normal protocol here. Normally we have an opening piece that we do, but other things were wanted, which is lovely when that happens. So just, okay, allowing the whole of your personal field now to start to fill with this golden radiance, this influxing golden radiance. Bring your awareness back to your heart center, to your heart field. And just breathe here to open this out. Now you might sense the immediate expansion that happens there. It's as if our heart field has been recalibrated in secret, in a sense. So in the past month or so, there's been a lot of work happening in the shadows, sort of undercover a little bit. And now what has been worked on by our higher selves and teams is is being unveiled, is being brought into the light, or the light is being brought into it. So just allow these deeper, bigger spaces of the heart that have opened up on the quiet, just to continue to open up and continue to be flooded with this golden light that is pouring in quietly. It's not a huge, or I'm not experiencing it as a huge rush, but it's a strong, steady impulse. Beautiful. So here we're being invited to this is what I talked about earlier on, this switching operating systems. So we invite then this golden light and all of those beings that have gathered with us, and there are many, many here already in attendance, even though we have not extended invitations particularly, but we're just acknowledging all of the guides that work with us, the lion-headed beings, the star families, the angelic realms, nature spirits, plant and animal kingdoms. And here, because we're going to be working deeply into the earth, and there are, you may sense this if you just drop awareness into the earth, you might feel some of those inner earth civilizations starting to interact. And I think this again is going to be a feature over the next 5, 10 years of a much stronger growing awareness of those civilizations that underpin ours, that literally live in the earth. We tend to focus out there, but there are branches of evolution, I think, is one way we could describe it, that went underground, related to us. But and it's in there's a TV program starting about that tonight, actually. No, that's the sea. Well, different races of beings inhabiting the planet. This program is a an undersea race, but it's interesting that that's coming into consciousness now in that way. Already you might feel that your personal field has expanded a lot. We're asking then that the old operating system that we have used to survive through eons, through thousands of years of density and separation, now be unplugged at a rate that is completely in accordance with and aligned with our higher self and what is appropriate for us as individuals. We understand that this is happening now in these days and weeks, and that we are being plugged back into a deeper, more authentic, more original operating system. So any sheathing that has happened to us, sheathing that we have become so used to wearing, used to living within. And it, when I became really aware of it, it felt almost like a layer of leather, the encapsulating my field. So quite a tough layer. And it may be, you may experience it completely differently. But we just ask now that this be dissolved, withdrawn to whatever extent is optimal for us as individuals. Understanding that we build a template for the collective here in this work so that it can be offered to stimulate, activate, and quicken this for the wider collective. Hold some awareness at the top of your head because there's a really lovely expansion happening through the crown now as more of the filaments of light or filaments of the sort of filaments of light, but it's as if they're being swapped out for brighter filaments of light. It's as if the level of light, it's as if the bulbs are being changed, actually. You know, when you walk into a room and turn on the light, then the bulb is too dim for that room, and um, and it's quite irritating. We're at that stage. So some of the filaments of light, it's almost as if they're being swapped out or opened up in new ways. And this is happening for me and from what I'm seeing for us at the level of the crown at the moment. A stronger flow flowing down through the spine into the back. Again, right the way down to the heart and flushing through there into the solar plexus. So more and more channels are being opened as we hold space. Holding steady in the heart and just breathing here to allow, well, to allow, it's like a fanning out of your heart field, as if the heart field already opened and God, I don't have the words, already opened and generous. Then from deep within the central point of the heart, there's a whole other layer, a whole other realm, a whole other dimension of opening that happens. And as I finally put words to it, that really starts to activate. Now we really connect with each other, heart to heart. Each of these opened, expanded, deeper dimensional heart spaces now connecting with each other. Imagine for a few moments that we are standing together in a multi-dimensional space, as if we were meeting in person in the same space, holding hands for a moment and just building this heart field between us, opening it out. You might sense it's almost like the body starting to become transparent. And more dimensions of armor plating that we have worn over many, many, many lifetimes are falling away, falling out from deep within the system. Some of these are literally past life echoes and memories, the things we have had to do to defend ourselves, the battles we have lived, the armor we have worn. Create, all go together to create that sheath, that tough sheath, which is which we have invited to dissolve. So it's the dissolution happens from around us, but also from deep within us. Recognize that. And some of this literally flows out through your cell tissue. That's what I've been doing apparently for the past couple of weeks is that cellular clearing, which I've been quite aware of. And just understand that this is a moment of birth for humanity. Not this moment, but this month, I think we could say. So there's no hurry over this, although in geological or cosmic terms it is instantaneous. It's a bit different for us at a human level. So again, more and more bundles of light fibers are opening up through that central column and starting now to drop deeper into the earth. So we're starting to interact more solidly with the earth. And it's looking to me as if we're exploring an ancient mine shaft that used to be well used, well, a passageway into the earth that used to be well known, well used, and has now been discarded and forgotten about for thousands of years. And we're just coming back to it in a wave of discovery. And it's dark and a bit cluttered and a bit filled with debris, but this golden influx of light coming from the sun, but it's not just from the sun. We'll get to that later. It is actually galactic. Some of it is from the sun, certainly, but it's a different quality of energy and a different set of frequencies than if it were direct and only the sun. There, now we're getting deeper into the earth. See if you can maintain a connection with your heart, staying present for yourself deep in the heart, but also exploring the space underneath you deep into the earth, asking your guides, your higher self, and the nature spirits to work with you to open up. Oops, the dragons come in. So the dragons are the earth dragons then rising out to help us. Helping to open up our field from what has been compacted and compressed. It's like opening out almost like a hot air balloon or a huge marquee or something that's been bundled up and is now just being opened out, taking up a vast, vast amount more space than it did. So just imagine this activation unfolding in all dimensions for you, through you, around you, and within you. You don't actually have to imagine it, it is happening. There, we're starting to really drop deep into core recesses of the earth. I'm just waiting for this deep exploration of the earth to really light up. Light is flowing into it, but it's um, so stay present within your heart field, within the heart field that we are building collectively, and deep within the earth too, if you can. And if that is a bit tricky, just move between all three of those. Spend a little time deep in the earth, checking that out, come back to your heart space, and then expand out into the collective heart field that we are building. If you're in that collective heart field, you may notice that it's actually opening out a bit like an umbrella and is receiving a huge amount of light encoded energy already. It's like to me, then it looks like an umbrella made of dragonfly wings, um, sort of upturned and catching rays of the sun. So it's not fending off rays of the sun. It's upturned and is catching them. And so what I'm very aware of is that the earth is activating some of the ancient grids. To us, they will feel new, but they're ancient. So these are being brought back online now, and we are participating in that by bringing in some of this solar influx as well. It is required in a sense that there is human participation in this process because the whole experiment has been set up um, for this. So we designed the experiment in consciousness. We have been that we are engaged in. So we have to participate. It can't just be done for us. Another, okay, allow awareness to come back to your base center, to the coccyx, sacrum, and that perineum, as it's almost as if enough light has built in the pelvis now to uncork something here. And I was saying a few minutes ago that our relationship with the earth is going to be changing really dramatically over the coming weeks, months, and years. And a part of that will involve a much freer opening of the base. So ask for that now. Ask your higher self, the guides, the teams, and this light that's working with us. Ask it to open you at the base much more fundamentally, much more than we have ever thought possible, actually. I'm not sure why I'm seeing this, but I'm seeing like a huge long scroll unwinding itself. I think this is actually like a collective history held in the base chakra that is, it's like a scroll that's been tightly wound and is now opening up and reeling itself off down into the earth. So we are literally breaking through historic data fields here, historic data shields, and opening to drop much deeper into the earth, but also receive much more from the earth. Uh, the obvious awareness here is that we will have a much greater connection with nature spirits. That's certainly coming back. at a much wider collective level, we will understand the active intelligence of nature again. It will be appreciated. And now there seems to be well, there is a stronger opening happening through the base, from the base to the heart. Some of those bundles of light fibers have just opened up and activated right the way through from base to heart. So as our whole field is opening now from deep within the core of uh, that central column that runs through us in the midline of the body, anchoring us deep into the earth. As I say, more and more of that is opening up and activating. And this is opening out the energy field, like, as I say, a hot air balloon or a huge marquee slowly, slowly erecting itself or inflating. Just imagine way, way, way more potential is opening within your field than we have ever recognized, ever understood. And this is happening, you know, in the present moment where you are sat. But a lot of it is happening deep within the earth because our field extends deep within the earth. And so we are starting to connect with these activating grids in the earth. In fact, I'm understanding now that we are part of the activation of those grids. Hopefully, you have water and can stay hydrated. It's very, very useful. Even just a couple of sips of water makes a big difference to the energetic balance, particularly doing energy work like this. It allows for more flow. Okay, something has just clicked into place deep, deep in the earth underneath us. Uh, and you may sense this, but the rate of flow moving through us has strengthened. As that clicked into place, it's like it opened something up and there's a stronger flow of energy. What was a simple line of golden light initially has now become a much stronger flow. Uh, I feel quite emotional. Just again go into receiving mode. No need to analyze or do anything. Just recognize that this is happening for you, for your activation and expansion, but it's also happening for the earth through you. And so we are being, in effect, plugged into these newly activating grids within the earth. And some of these grids are only just starting to awaken, only just starting to have energy flowed into them. But just if it feels appropriate and if you feel a bit anxious about anything I'm saying, then it's totally fine. You just have to rest where you are and say no to uh, anything that doesn't feel right for you. You can always come back to it later uh, as maybe things feel a bit more comfortable. But if this does feel right, then ask that you be plugged into the grids and lines of energy in the earth that are completely appropriate for you. The personality won't know what that is, but your higher self and all of those working with you will know exactly what that is. And it's as if there's an enormous team of builders, architects, or working underneath us literally to, uh, oh, my lips have become very hot, um, to anchor us in. And so, okay, come back to the heart center. God, I wonder how you're all doing with this. I hope you're doing okay. I know we started late, but I think we might be overrunning a few minutes as well, perhaps till 10 past or quarter past or something like that. I'm not sure. I hope that's okay. Uh, Bringing yourself back to the heart center. It is what I'm experiencing here and what I'm seeing in our collective field is it's almost as if there's a lozenge shape around the heart that now just needs to open out. I'm seeing the heart literally as a very, very sophisticated piece of uh, technology. A lot of this work is coming from cosmic beings working with us. And if you are drawn to the work that gets offered here, then you are one of those cosmic beings, obviously, actively there. So now it's almost as if that lozenge shape is just opening out, falling outwards to allow. And I was wondering when this was. So it's as so just allow your heart field to expand out across the earth, at once your personal heart field, but also the field we have co-created, and to be laid into the grids of the earth. And this is what I was seeing last night, meditating. This is what I was being shown. And it's like a golden, well, I keep coming back to that idea of a hot air balloon. You know, when they are extending out the fabric of the balloon before it starts to get inflated, this is what sort of I'm seeing now is that there's a huge laying out of the fabric of our newly opening heart field, new dimensions of the heart field unfolding for this activation, which at once is a planetary activation, a personal activation, a collective activation. And as this fabric of the heart is laying itself out across the planet, it's also dropping through the planet. And we are deeply connected through this central column, this central line of light into the heart field of the earth. Just waiting as a lot of debris, not dense debris, but it's quite fine debris, but it's veils. Then we could say veils being lifted out. That's would be another way of describing this. But as the heart field opens out and expands, it's setting free a lot of patterning. If you check into your core, you may sense that as the heart field opens out, it's opening out deeper dimensions of you. It's giving space for more dimensions of you to unfold. So just breathe into that. Any tension you're feeling on the inside, any strain, any pressure, just give permission for anything that seems to be holding or blocking just to let go, just to open out. And Now, all of a sudden, my awareness is being pulled up and out towards the sun. Actually, but back, I'm sort of looking at the sun and the earth and us, the field we've co-created. Bring awareness into your core, into that heart field space, but see if you can hold awareness of the expansion that's happening right out across the surface of the planet and deep within the planet. That word fusion just came strongly into mind. We are a fusion of energetic intelligence and grid work. We have never ever meant to be operating in separation. Well, we were because we chose that for a while, but it's not our best, our best mode. It's not our favorite mode at all. Now we are being woven back into the fusion that is our birthright, our natural state. Just getting an understanding here of how happy the earth is for this to be happening. And so bring awareness to that idea that the field, the co-created field, the field we've built together is a bit like an upturned umbrella. Tilted towards the sun. As we are just weeks away from the December solstice, imagine the sun light like liquid light pouring into that upturned umbrella. Receive it for yourself personally, but also aware that we are receiving for the collective human heart, which we consciously invite into this process. I don't know, there is an awful lot of love flowing here. Just and again, there's another unlocking of a deeper level of our heart space. So dive deep into your heart field and just, if it feels appropriate, always if it feels appropriate, give permission for a deeper and even deeper unlocking of the heart space. Nothing to fear with that. But sometimes we simply might not feel quite ready. That readiness will happen within the next couple of days, or certainly by the solstice, I would think. Trust your own pace completely and receive this influx of solar codes that is going to build, I think, each day now towards the solstice. But we have set up a template for the planet, in a sense. A few years ago, I would have felt outrageously arrogant saying that, and now I don't because I know it's the truth, and that's got nothing to do with me, everything to do with us as a collective and the timing of this. Just aware that that field we have co-created, that sort of upturned umbrella, is also expanding itself out across the planet into these planetary grids. into these newly activating planetary grids. So we're simply being invited now to hold space with this, to luxuriate in the experience of this for a few minutes, because it's a continuous flow. But as we pay attention to it, and pay attention from your heart and from deep within your core, because that way you draw it deep within yourself, allow occasionally your awareness to drop deep within the earth and extend out through the earth, knowing that you are being fused back into exactly the appropriate grids and energy frequencies and lines of light that are perfect for your ongoing evolution and purpose. Another opening up from deep within as more and more of the shields and veils disintegrate and fall apart. Ha, ha. Focus some of this energy into your locality, into the space you live in, your home, your garden, your street, your neighborhood. Make it real for yourself. And recognize your habitual depth of grounding will have shifted. So check that out over the coming days, where it's almost like your plumb line or your center of gravity, in a sense, will have dropped deeper, and it may not be right to the core of the earth, but it will be deeper than you have habitually been anchoring. We have a very large host of beings watching this. See if you can sense that. Understand that this powerful activation may have a knock-on effect in terms of a clearing process. See how that goes for you. Usual protocol: stay very well hydrated, hang out in nature as much as you can. Sunlight, salt water is amazing. Okay, bring awareness back to the heart and just ask how does that feel? How are you feeling within your expanded field now? Recognize we are coming to an end of this transmission, this piece of energy work. So invite your field to stabilize itself at this new level, and your higher self to make this okay for you in whatever way that is. I don't know that it's appropriate to draw things in, it doesn't feel like, but just take some moments here to ask what you need to do, because we all have different activities that we're moving into. I'm going to eat some cake. um, but bring your awareness of what your day holds into this moment and trust that you are beautifully, beautifully held and loved and taken care of by those that have been working with us. You are safe. So I extend a huge wave of gratitude to all of those that have worked with us with this piece of energy work, that golden line of light from that came through the sun was partly solar energy, but certainly galactic energy too. There will be stronger connections with the galaxy. It's almost like that golden line of light acts like a almost like a fishing line. It's just um, strengthening the tension and pulling the galaxy closer, the galactic center closer to us. And of course, it isn't like that at all, but it um, that's what I'm seeing. Anyway, extraordinary gratitude to those beings that have worked with us, all of the inner earth beings and the nature spirits, the earth herself, the angels and star beings, the guides, higher selves, plant and animal kingdoms, and uh, of course, to each of you, thank you so much for answering the call when you saw this newsletter, and hopefully you felt somewhere that something was worth attending to. So thank you so much for being present here. Sending you huge love, and I will be in touch very soon. There will be a recording on its way to you fairly shortly. Okay, I as always, I love to know how you get on with these and how they land for you. So please let me know. Take care. Have a great day. Bye bye.